things he did while he was emperor was there was a very famous revolt in Judea called the Bar Kokhba revolt. And this is when Jews thought, and by the way, this is after
this is
the birth of
when
Christ.
Jews,
And that's another reason that shows that Jesus was actually a real guy and that this phenomenon was definitely a real thing. Is after he came along and Jews refused to believe that he was actually the Messiah, they went crazy thinking that, well, surely it wasn't Jesus, but that means that, because Jesus came along when all these prophecies of the Messiah coming would be fulfilled, that means the Messiah is coming, it just wasn't Jesus. But like every other year there was a guy claiming to be the Messiah, and of course they never crucified those guys. But some guy comes along and he claims to be the Messiah, and there's a huge revolt in Judea. And they just any non-Jew in the whole province, they just kill them all, man, woman, or children. So when word gets back to Emperor Hadrian, he's furious, and he's the reason that the temple burned down and has never been rebuilt to this day. He killed just about every Jew that he came across. He visited a real like insane purge against them, and that referencing that is what is being referenced in the comments where it's like, girls with a time machine. I'm your granddaughter. Really? Wow. Boys with a time machine. All right, Hitler. Go ahead and tell Hadrian what happens if he doesn't finish off Judea. Hilarious stuff. So yeah, the calling it the Hadrian option is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. If I had to guess, based off of that pin, obviously he's still gonna quit, but he might just be like, he's not gonna make any kind of big, final send off kind of thing. He's just gonna quit.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. I'll turn the convoy on.
All right. Actually, it's oddly peaceful right now.
Okay, you should be able to join the convoy now.
All right, coming in as soon as I can.
Apparently the new Mel Gibson movie sucks. Oh well.
Critics hate it.
Most of the people I've seen who saw it hate it too.
Fair enough. I wouldn't be surprised if it stank because Mark Wahlberg's in it, and he quite often phones it in.
Mm-hmm.
Just feel bad about Mel, if that's true.
Right.
All right, let's see here. Jobs, freight market. Well, first of all, Oh no, we're both in Arkansas. Cause yeah, that's right. This was where we were at when the last job finished.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Plan. So we'll head over here and take this job. It's a low payout, short range job, but it's gonna take us from this part of Arkansas where there's like nothing over to Houston where there should be more interesting jobs.
Okay.
That's my plan anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. I just got a notification about the parking brake. Never had that before. A lot more fun to drive this thing when
Have you taken the job yet?
Another
Because I
truck.
haven't seen it yet.
No, remember, I have to manually drive to the location to get the job first.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem.
Alright, so... should be... that right there now says
Okay, here we go.
towards the flag on your map, but I don't have a clue where it is.
And should I use the owned truck or the provided truck? Because is it like this loads so cheap that
Oh.
I don't need to use my own truck?
I had no idea that there was a provided truck. Well, I'm using my own. Like, I'm not going to use anybody else's. It's going to smell like someone else's ass.
Okay. It looks like I actually make more money if I use my own truck.
Yes, that's true. Because if you use a company truck, then part of that, you know... imagine it in the sense of like they have a set budget for the job, and then if you're using their truck, they have to factor in taking care of their own truck, things like fuel and such. But if you were using your own truck, then they could just give you the full budget as the payout, because that's your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have collision in this.
I don't think we
I would
do.
assume no. Well, pull forward a little bit and smack me and see what happens. Just don't do it fast, just in case there is. But yeah, just like ding me. No, we don't. Okay, cool. So yeah, do what you gotta do. I basically don't exist.
I have no sleepy meter and I have no gasoline because that's where I left it when I was parked last time. I am probably going to run out of gas here very soon, and I need a rest
Well-
the first opportunity.
Yes. There is one very close to us. Very, very close to us. On the way, you should see it pretty easily. I myself, I forgot, I need to get mine serviced, because my truck's at 19% damage.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's no bueno.
Okay. So that's your trailer. Where's mine? I guess
It should be in the exact same spot.
Oh,
It
yep,
just
there it
waits
is.
until
There
I-
it is.
yeah.
There it is. Good call. I wish backing up in
Right.
this game was a little bit better, personally.
It happened. I forgot. I need to re-enable fatigue because I had turned it off because I was at red sleepiness with like less than 100 miles to go, and you remember how pissed we both were. I just said fuck it.
Right.
This is a really long trailer though.
So, how's your day been?
It was all right. Not awful.
I guess it's just getting started, really.
Essentially, yeah. Kind of wishing I'd stayed up a little later, but yeah, that happens.
Yeah, so you said you're going to be busy tonight?
That's the hope. Yeah, I'm gonna try to DoorDash since it's Friday night.
Okay. Alright, it would not shock me if I ran out of gas right here, even though the gas station's right up the road. Alright, where is this gas station you were talking about?
Well, we get on the freeway and we don't take it very far down.
Okay.
Just a few miles. And then there will be a large... I would probably head off and go to it myself also.
Yeah, I need everything.
I don't know.
I could use a little bit of
Yeah.
service, personally.
Because after re-enabling my fatigue, I am at maxed out sleepiness. And I've got half a tank right now, so... Wouldn't be the worst idea to get everything taken care of. However, I'm back over 300 grand, so the payout on that job was definitely worth how awful it was.
Right. Go, you dumb fucking bus. If this was speed, your bus would have blown up by now.
Exactly.
Stupid fucking bus.
Okay. It looks like there's not a service station there, but that's it's a way station instead, with truck stops and gasoline.
Okay. I'll take it. I'm still surprised that Pete Carroll actually found somebody to hire him.
Yeah, I really don't think he's going to turn the Raiders around because they have some talent on that team, including the best tight end in the league. The problem with the Raiders is their front office. which includes their owner, who's a huge issue. So I highly doubt Pete Carroll by himself is going to turn things around, especially when he was not. A couple of years ago when he was actually still doing this for the Seahawks, he wasn't getting it done. So
Mhm.
I don't like his chances that he's going to magically make things better.
All right, this is going to be one hell of an expensive fill up. $750 to fill this tank.
Nice.
$750. Okay, is this thing gonna let me fucking rest?
Here's hoping.
Okay, good. There we go. I would have raged so hard if it decided to be a pain.
Yeah, for real. Same here. But they gave me a rest. I'll take it.
Mhm.
I was just trying to flip the trailer around so that I'd be able to drive straight out like this. So after I do the rest, now I need to try to maneuver into the fuel area, and we'll see how that goes.
Fudge.
But yeah. The only thing I hope for is that they do not ruin Brock Bowers.
I'm going to take that personally if he does it.
For real. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull out into traffic. Good luck, everybody else.
I got maybe like 5 hours of sleep last night, but I'm not tired, which surprises me.
Yeah, I've been sleeping like total shit for a while.
Is it stress or is it something else?
Combination of many things, including stress, discomfort, just black.
Me and the boys going to a WNBA game to yell slurs at the players.
Based. If you're a foreigner and you start throwing definitions at me, no, we're not doing that. You're getting called a slur.
So apparently the Dino Crisis game is not a new game, it's a remastered game of the PS1 game with like updated graphics and stuff. It's not actually a new game.
That might not be terrible, but they could easily ruin it.
I never played Dino Crisis, so I don't even know what would constitute ruining it, but I might play it.
It's sort of like a combination action horror game.
Mm-hmm.
Horror in the sense of just like you're alone against dinosaurs like that. That's scary. Yeah.
I always thought Dino Crisis was the light gun game, but I guess it's not.
Nah, probably thinking of Time Crisis.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Man, I wish light gun games were still being made. Those were so much fun.
Did you ever play Resident Evil Dead Aim?
Dead Aim, no.
Yeah,
but I had a ton of fun with Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles. That was a great idea, too. They're like, I've got an idea. Why don't we do, like, somewhat of a remake of all of the Resident Evil games, except make it a light gun, House of the Dead style experience? That was genius. It's just a shame that it came out only for the Wii, because not like the Wii was an unpopular console. It was literally the best seller of the generation. It's just that the people who bought the Wii weren't going to buy that kind of game.
Yeah, and it was about as powerful as the PlayStation 1. It would have been nice to, you know.
Exactly. That's what really bothers me. You know, there's people talking about the Switch too. I'm like, I miss the days when Nintendo was competing with Microsoft and Sony, you know, in a hardware power kind of way. Because the GameCube was one of my all-time favorite consoles, and there were some games that came out for the GameCube 20 years ago that still look better than shit that comes out now. Like, especially the Resident Evil 4 version that came out on the GameCube initially. They did so many amazing graphical tricks with how they presented the game on the GameCube that are still better than stuff that people do now with their awful bloatware and horrible engines.
Right.
So I'm like, you know, that they had a hell of a lot of talent with that squad. It'd be amazing to see what they could do if, you know, you were going to take it seriously like that.
Oh, way station. We've been working 9 through 5. It's no way to make a living.
At I got called into the way station too. There's a line of 4 trucks right there. Yeah, screw that.
You'll make up for the fine with the bonuses you get from such a quick delivery.
Exactly. Like, good grief.
Yeah. A lot of people think Pete's just going to get the band back together and hire like Ken Norton and shoot, what's the name of the other guy? The Kennedy Palomalu.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sit there and call this the Adam Sandler coaching position.
You know, that's
He's
not
just gonna sit there.
ridiculous. He could just get his boys
Yeah.
paid.
Exactly. Like, to me, it feels like a done deal because after what happened in the playoffs this year, the Steelers have to make some kind of change. They can't just run it back. And people sit there and say they started the season amazing with Justin Fields, and he looked great every time that he played. And it was Russell Wilson who failed to meet that kind of performance level. So they might just be like, well, fuck it, get rid of him and see what we got with this other guy. But regardless, I highly doubt the Steelers would want to bring him back just because of how awful that was. So I feel like it's almost destiny that he's going to bring Wilson back because the Raiders would be able to get him for cheap, which will make the owner happy. And just like you said, Pete wants all of his boys to get paid. So. They're already sitting there and running with fucking Gardner Minshew, so it's not completely outrageous.
And Pete's not going to be down with any kind of a tanking or an extended rebuild. He wants to win right now. Now, there may be no way to win right now, but he's going to try, is the point.
Yeah. I mean, given Pete's age, if he was going to be putting together an extended rebuild, I'm not going to be morbid and say that he'd die before, came to fruition. But retiring in terms of just pure age is definitely a possibility, so I doubt he'd even see the end of that rebuild.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen the stuff that came out about Martin Luther King as people were digging through the files?
I think I sent you one of the tweets with that, yeah.
Right, yeah. Yes, you did.
About him being, chocolate thief.
Yes. Man, unbelievable. First of all, banging dudes. Secondly, complete degenerate, constantly banging other guys' wives. Bastard children all over the place, making Dwight Howard look like a rookie. We gave this guy a federal holiday? Goddamn.
The world would be better if MLK was dead.
Yeah.
Just wait till you see the file on Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Did we hear anything about JFK? Not to my knowledge.
Because a lot of the JFK stuff already came out last time. There was just a lot that remained redacted, and that was Trump's intention was that he was going to release a lot of the stuff that was still redacted.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for that, is because a lot of it had to do with people who at the time were still alive, included people like George H.W. Bush, and they're not anymore. So
Yeah. I'm gonna get my truck repaired while I'm here.
I was going too fast. I couldn't slow down the time to make that turn to get in there. Still going, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, you can't fix the trailer. It's just the truck you're fixing. You build wear and tear on your truck pretty fast, it feels like. Okay, so there's this Goyle, and she goes to high school, but she's got big bazonkadonks.
She's got huge boobs. I mean, a real pair of donkers. Some serious donkers. She had even bigger boobs. Bonkonica hooves. Nodan bear cougars. Humongous hamalama gadungus. Wait, what day of the month is?
It's the 24th, I think.
Then I think the Poppy Playtime thing comes out tomorrow.
Oh, okay, cool. Very interested to see if it's the last part or if we're getting a part 5. I really wish the game parts would come out around Halloween, though.
Yeah. $5,000 fine for speeding. Wow.
Doesn't that wipe out like all your profit from this job?
Close.
Dude, these fucking speed limits going up and down and up and down and up and down is driving me crazy.
Yeah, it's rough for sure.
This road is gayer than Elton John.
True.
How many miles are you out?
49.
Alright. I'm behind, but I'm not super far behind. Nothing beats driving a manual. I can't believe that piece of artwork actually went viral. With how obviously inappropriate it is.
Yeah.
Fucking quiz!
That's what this is, you know. Satanic black magic. Sick shit.
Dude, I will run you off the road if you don't move. Holy shit.
Oh, what a burger. That's funny. Good.
Never ask a man his salary, a woman her age. Matthew Broderick, what he was doing in Europe in the 1980s. Oh, have you heard about the stuff going on with Destiny right now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know all the details, but it's some kind of revenge porn thing.
Yeah. Basically, two ethos banged him years ago for clout.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing, Destiny is basically the Twitch version of Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
Because he's a manlet and he's a very disgusting person. So, he just leverages the fact that, oh, hey, if you, it's like, he's really connected with a lot of internet celebrities, not actual serious people. But if you wanted to be able to interact with people like Lauren Southern and Nick Fuentes and a bunch of other disgusting people, well, Destiny is somebody who can make those connections. So he just uses that as an opportunity to have sex with women. So, whatever.
I thought he was gay.
Well, he is. He he enjoys blowing dudes. It, he's a very disgusting person, that's been mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So, part of the deal was that they would send him lots of nudes, and they just find out that he was sharing it with other people, which is not
Mm-hmm.
not allowed, I guess.
And he said he might be I guess they're saying he might go to jail over it.
But yes, a police report has been filed, and he is concerned about having to register as a sex offender. And he said, "Let me tell you, man, if I end up on the sex offender registry, then I'm going to take a lot of streamers down with me." A lot of people are laughing. That is very amusing. You can see the burgers in my passenger seat. I switched the camera angle to be outside because that's easier for me to reverse properly when I do that. You can see the burgers in my passenger seat. That's funny.
All right. Easy. All right, now what?
Give me just a second. 'Cause we're very close to Houston. I would like to take us to Houston so that we can get another job there.
All right.
But I want to have my car serviced before
Mm-hmm.
I do that whole thing. So
Can you do that from the menu?
no, I've got to manually go there in person.
Okay.
So
All right. No problem. I'll be right back then. I'll take a quick break.
all right.
All right, I'm back. What's the
All right.
411?
Well, I repaired my truck, and I'm doing a rest stop and gas right now. Then after that, head over to Houston.
All right. And I'll just wait to take a job.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go repair my truck as well while we're waiting, I guess. Since it's obviously a lot easier to do now when I don't have a trailer. Die, 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 die.
Nice. It's not too bad. Yeah, I'll go for that one. That's a good job. Now that's some relaxing, easy listening right there. Phil Collins.
Oh.
All right. So I have a job in mind, and I'm heading to Houston now.
All right, let me know when you picked it up so I can pick it up.
Well, Houston is 100 miles away from the service station that I chose, so
God dang it. Why can't this steering wheel just stay in place? You know what they need to add to this game? A little icon for the rest area. So that way you can clearly tell if you're inside it or not. Because they have icons
yeah.
for everything else.
Holy crap. I hit 100 miles an hour.
How'd you pull that off? No
Oh, we
trailer?
don't have a trailer. Yeah, no trailer, so I just floor it. Plus the momentum of going downhill is what put me over, otherwise I'd top out at like 91.
Six people injured in mid-air jolt that forced DC-bound United plane to make emergency landing. Huh.
Jesus.
Nobody died, but 6 people injured, it looks like.
That's insane, man.
Waffen Monkey throws up a Roman. That was great.
Yes, that was indeed amazing.
He was into it too, man.
Yeah. I think that monkey was part of the Ethiopian SS auxiliaries. Definitely, definitely activating blood memory there.
So be honest, Elon doing the thing that he did the other day, do you think that was just him being autistic and not realizing how his actions would be interpreted, or was he trolling?
I think he was being autistic, and then when he saw the reaction to it, he was like, "Oh fuck, I gotta tell everybody I was trolling." But yeah, Elon Musk is obviously not a Nazi, and it bothers me that, oh, Elon's a Nazi. I'm like, dude, I fucking wish he was a Nazi. Are you kidding me? This guy worships Indians and Jews. Tragic. Alright.
All right, it's letting me quick
Job-
travel.
Yeah, job accepted. I don't know if this would open. The answer is no, it wouldn't. Well, then how the fuck am I supposed to get out?
All right, so it looks like I need to go get the trailer, so I'm going to be lagging a little behind you, but that's fine.
That's fun. This is truly awful. This design is dog shit. I'm literally stuck. I can't even get out. The trailer's too big. The trailer's too big. They do not give me a large enough area to be able to leave. I can't get out. This is so insanely fucking stupid. Okay, I'm pissed. That shouldn't be. Okay, well, fine. I can't get out without damaging the fucking thing, so it's already damaged. Yeah.
Well, that's their problem.
Exactly.
Man, this thing can fucking fly. Apparently, someone was logged into Elon's Path of Exile 2 account while he was at the inauguration.
Yes. And keep in mind, when Asmongold accused him of using someone else to do all the hard work for him, and then he was just claiming that it was all him and that he was actually the best gamer in the world. When Asmongold called him out on that and had the receipts to show things like that, Elon got so pissed he removed him from being promoted on Twitter Gaming and de-verified him, took away his checkmark. He's since given it back, but that is like...
I mean, if you're going to make it that fucking obvious that it's not you, why do you even care when people call you out on it? You're at the inauguration.
Yes, his crash outs have been consistent and legendary over the last... yeah, I literally can't even get out because this trailer's too long.
Even if you damage it?
Even if I damage it, because it physically... Yeah, I'm going to sit right where I'm at because you're coming up.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see this is the only exit for the property, and it is not possible with this massive trailer to be able to get out.
Have you tried hitting V to, like, that's something the game will tell you to do sometimes when you get stuck. To just hit V. What happens if you call the tow truck right now?
I don't think anything would happen. But you'll be able to see.
Maybe I'll be able to, like, hit you hard enough to get out.
No. I'm stuck, so unless there's, like, a teleportation feature that just gets me out of here, then it ends right here. As you drive in, you'll be able to see how long the fucking trailer is that we got to pull here. I can't get it to turn because it collides with the environment, and when it collides with the environment, I can't move anymore. I can't even back up where I'm at now because the thing's not one singular piece. It's sections. So that rear section back there has turned enough where if I try to back out, I can't because it's turned into the concrete. But if I drive forward, I can move. But as soon as I drive forward, eventually I will just hit the concrete barriers again. So it's a complete fucking waste of time. I can't. This is all I can do is just back out here and then drive forward. That's it.
All right. Let me see if I can. Okay, no, there's no collision.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to just like.
And that's another thing. It's a no collision zone. This is
okay.
So awful.
If it's a no collision zone, then you really should be able to just like go
No
through
collision
the
with other
barriers.
drivers. Not,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I do agree with you. This is insanely stupid.
Look up a no clip command for this game to see if you can use it to get out. Maybe there's a way to like use no clip.
Nah. Yeah.
I'll try to get
All right.
out. Maybe I can figure it out somehow. I don't see
Nah,
how, but
I'm just gonna have them tow me to service. It costs a shitload of money, but there's literally nothing I can do. Like, as long as I still have my trailer, and I do. Okay, so yeah, that it sucks that you literally have to spend money to get out, but I can't otherwise get out.
yeah, this is poorly designed. I will acknowledge that for sure. Okay, how do you call the tow truck? Because I think I'm going to need to as well.
On the keyboard, F7, which brings up the service menu.
Mm-hmm.
Then once you've got that active,
Mm-hmm.
it's enter to access the options. Then one of them is the tow to service.
Okay. There we go. God, these trailers are so fucking big on these missions. Thank God I don't think I'm really going to have to pull over at all during this mission, but my God, it just makes it miserable. I guess that's why these missions get the big bucks, but fuck, man.
And once you're driving, it's fine, but Jesus Christ, how are you even supposed to get out? It's like everything about that situation is terrible. There's only one way to leave, which isn't big enough for that trailer. And even just getting the trailer is a huge pain in the ass because it's way in the back and it's almost impossible. To, like, horrible design.
Goddamn way station. Why do you care how much my goddamn truck weighs?
Son of a bitch.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Come on. Come on. In China, they say cat are very delicious. How much money was this mission? Do you remember?
What?
Do you remember how much we're getting paid for this mission?
Yeah, it should be 53,000.
Okay.
And we're heading to Kansas.
That's pretty good because this isn't that long.
Yeah.
The Rizzler. 1 second, everybody.
All right.
Okay, we're back. All right, I should have enough gas and enough rest meter to make it all the way to the destination. So at this point, do you think the Heat make the play-in, or do you think they get left out?
Say again?
Do you think the Miami Heat are going to make the play-in or not at this point?
My belief is this. Before the deadline, we finally trade Jimmy. and it will actually catapult the team into being serious. Will finish out the season strongly enough to where we end up probably as the 6th seed and avoid the play-in for the first time in years.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone will be like, wow, they really, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll just get our ass kicked in the first round. But, future being semi-bright.
I mean, that would
Because
be the best
we-
possible outcome.
Yeah, we looked amazing when Jimmy was out faking that he was sick. But before the drama had, really hit the joint, we were on a win streak and looking great. And as soon as Jimmy, the trade request came out, was made public, and then all the drama occurred, the only game we've won since that happened was a game against the Spurs. Basically the worst team in the league right now. I know that the record doesn't reflect that they're the worst team in the league, but in my opinion, they are the most dog shit team in the league, by far. Especially if they lost to us. Like, I don't know if you saw it, but I put down in one of the channels, they're doing a tier maker for
I saw that.
for different teams. Yeah, how you think they'll do next year? And I was like, every team is S ranked except for the Dolphins. Oh god, you hate to see it.
Unless you're a Bills, Jets, or Patriots fan.
Yeah, fucking hate it. But yeah, I'm not expecting anything good to happen. Though, because like a lot of Heat fans are like big time crashing out, and they're saying shit like we should completely blow up the team, trade anyone except for Hero. Just be like, get rid of all of them. And I'm like, guys, do you not understand what's happening right now? They're like, Pat's so fucking stupid because we keep trading away our draft picks. We can't do a proper rebuild. I'm like, guys, ever since we didn't get the Lillard trade, the plan has been the 2026 free agency period. This whole thing with Jimmy sucks, but like if we get his contract off the books, then that's even better for us. Like that's the whole reason that we're having this argument in the first place, is because he wants a max extension and Riley doesn't want to do that by tying the cap down until 2026. So he said, okay, the best I can do is offer you a 1-year deal. So that way in 2026, it won't ruin my plans here. And Jimmy doesn't want that. He wants the long-term stability, and that makes sense. But all these fans are, oh my god. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with so many different fan bases? Like, you guys are just spiritual cucks, where year after year, the only thing you want to do is literally be the worst team in the league possible, hoping and praying that you get a high draft pick. What the hell is that? Why don't people want to watch their team win games anymore? Why aren't people happy if their team makes the playoffs, even if they don't win the championship anymore? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
What happened the last time the Heat bottomed out?
The last time the Heat bottomed out legitimately was the only time with the franchise that Pat was in a position to, and he tried, because he did it when early on with the Lakers, where he tried a real genuine rebuild, and that was the Derrick Rose draft, and we got Michael Beasley out of it. And Beasley had all the talent in the world. He was just a fucking basket case. And
right, exactly. Nothing came of that. Right. Mario Chalmers was better than fucking Michael Beasley.
Exactly. So that traumatized Pat to such an extent, he said, fuck it. The only thing draft picks are good for is to sweeten trade deals. We're a team that should be considered a top free agent destination. We're a team where I should be making impactful trades. And people at the time, they said that was stupid and that he was full of himself and that this ain't LA. What are you thinking? And then he signed Chris Bosh and LeBron James. And then, after that happened and Wade left, people were like, that's it, Pat's cooked, he's finished. He can't get it done anymore. That was one fluke, but he'll never be able to do anything like that again. And then he successfully traded for Goran Dragic and Jimmy Butler, which got us 2 finals appearances in 4 years, almost 3. And even though we didn't win the championship either of those times, that's still better than many franchises have had in their entire history. So, if you just look at it from that perspective, there's really nothing to complain about here. It sucks that you're in the middle of this right now, but like literally 2 seasons ago, we made the NBA Finals as an 8th seed, which is only the second time it's ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
What are you mad about? And everyone's like, oh my god, fuck this, trade everyone except for Hero and completely blow it up and get the shittiest draft picks you can think of and all this other nonsense. I'm like, why the hell are you even watching?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm saying all this because I know you guys have been talking about how spoiled the Seahawks fan base is, and I'm like, the Seahawks fan base is spoiled, but when it comes down to it, I'm starting to think this is just sports fans in general right now.
A lot of sports fans, yeah.
Yeah, they're all fucking babies, man.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was talking with the Hawks Nest the other day, and I think he said this on stream as well, he says every time he streams, he loses anywhere from 4 to 5 subscribers because he says something that people don't totally agree with, and their response to that is to unsubscribe instead of, just, deal with it.
Right. Yeah, which is just big time pants on head retarded.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I were talking about this. You could lean into that kind of thing and just give the people what they want, which it's difficult to be taken seriously then. But you've just managed to turn yourself into another soulless sellout to try to succeed there. It's not very far off from just doing the "Don't drink the Pete Carroll potion on the 1 yard line at 3 a.m."
Right.
videos. But what else is there if people are gonna fucking act like that? Yeah, because that's another thing you got to think of too, is just like the general age of the fan base, and besides the age, just the maturity level. What you're actually getting out here, your business model works because as long as the people are watching the videos, you're doing fine, which invites people who say retarded things in the comments, who insult you, and say mean things, but that's fine because they left a comment on this web zone, which is part of your business model. But for Hawksnest, where he needs people watching the stream and doing super chats,
yeah, exactly.
That's tough.
I can just let them yell into the void. Hawksnest has to actually entertain them.
Right.
That's
so at that point, yeah, whip out the fidget spinner. Oh my god, guys, don't take the Russell Wilson potion when you have a girlfriend or a wife. I took the Russell Wilson potion at 3 a.m. and Future showed up to seduce my wife.
If you knew it would work, would you be willing to do what Darkside Phil does?
If I knew that it would work, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have done way stupider things with no guarantee of success. If I knew it was going to work, yeah, I wouldn't have any problem with that, because I'm like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I could bring my... And by the way, when I say do what Darkside Phil does, what I mean is the whole thing where he's like, hey guys, I got a big bill that's due this week. I really need some help. I need you guys to do this. He'll do things like, oh, I have this bill due, and then he'll put up the exact number of the bill that he owes at the end of the week, and more often than not, he will actually raise enough money to do it, even if it's ridiculous. Even if it's like a $2,000 bill, people rally together to get him over the finish line. So he debases himself, but it actually works because these people fall for it. Enough people actually buy into it and give him what he needs to continue on. And to be clear, this is a guy who was very, very close to losing his house, very, very close to losing everything at one point because he wasn't paying his taxes for 5 years and he incurred a bunch of debt when he moved. Like, that's the question. Like, if you knew you could get enough people to buy into it to do it, would you be willing to debase yourself like that?
If I know it would work, absolutely.
You think it's time to get rid of MLK Day? I mean, the federal day off isn't bad, you know?
I don't think they should get rid of it. Just replace it with like an actual American that people would give a shit about. Because you know who else has their birthday on January 20th is Robert E. Lee. Rebuild the statues. Declare January 20th Robert E. Lee Day. And that's just the replacement for MLK Day. So just the third Monday in January. There you go. Because the people who hate that as an idea, when you think about it, the vast majority of the people who hate that as an idea, like, they don't have any tie to this country. Because they're second or third generation immigrants, and yeah, but he was a man, Confederate. It's like, he is one of the most beloved Americans of all time because that's part of our history. And there was a lot going on there. So then, having, because especially, I don't know what the hell it is, but a lot of Chinese immigrants to the country really hate the Confederacy. Like Diane Yap on Twitter the other day was going on about that shit, and everyone's all like, "Who?" Everybody check Union graveyards for Yap. It's nuts, man. Because, at times I've considered, the possibility of living in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't even imagine, if I had gone there, while I would appreciate being there and view it as my new home, I had never imagined being patriotic about that place. And if the people of that place all of a sudden decided, you know what, we're going to rename the country or have a new holiday for this guy who was important in our history, I'm not going to fucking pipe up and say I think that's wrong. I don't give a shit. It's got nothing to do with me. I just live there. So like, no, you can't do Robert E. Lee Day. And it's not like, your parents are from the Philippines. Why do you think you have input here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had a feeling. Because I just got a toll road and I was like, we in Oklahoma now? Yes, we are.
Oh, Hank Fraley is saying that he is going back to Detroit, so he is now off the table. I'll make a video about that a little bit later, I guess.
How about that?
I'm not unhappy with that, to be perfectly honest. He's good, but he was not that high on my list personally. I don't dislike it, but I don't really like it. I'm just kind of on Fraley. But yeah, dude, you said you watched a little bit of it. That stream I did yesterday with the Hawk's Nest was surreal for a little bit there. Like, I totally get it. I'm not blaming him, but it was like, whoa.
Yeah, I was watching the very beginning of it. You guys were talking about potential free agents.
Yeah.
Guys on the roster, whether or not you'd want to keep them. A lot of something Riley or something Lakin. Like, I know not Lakin Riley because that's the thing, but I just keep thinking of him.
Lakin Tomlinson.
There you go. Yeah. You
No
have to talk
relation.
about that. And when because you were doing like all the heavy lifting there, and would go on and talk and say things. Then he'd be like, "Okay, so what do you think, Brendan?" And then he'd just, "Yeah," or "No," and that was it. Just like one word answers, very quick, take like less than 10 seconds. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the guy.
Yeah.
If he was wearing a watch, he'd be staring at it the entire time.
Right before we went live, what he said was, every time I stream, I lose 4 to 5 subscribers, so I'd rather keep the stream short, so I minimize the damage. Is basically how he put it. Oh, god damn it. $1,100 for going 10 over? Bite me.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that the fines may be like progressively exponential increasing. Because I got gigged $900 for 9 miles over, and I'm like, holy crap! Like that's $100 for every mile an hour over the speed limit you are. I'm like, this definitely feels like it's way more than it was earlier. So I'm starting to think that might be the game trying to keep you trying to drive like a normal person.
Right.
Would be to just increase the punishment over time. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. And then the donations started coming in, and once the donations came in, I even we even talked briefly right after the show ended, and he was like, "Yeah, when the donations are coming in, of course you do what you do, but once that happened, of course I'm happy to go as long as needs to go."
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a Band-Aid, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't fix the bigger problem.
Exactly. And, he'd know that. So I'm sure that's why he pinned that comment.
Yeah.
Although I like my idea, if you ever, if you ever decide that you're going to put this whole thing behind you, you don't need it anymore, so you're going to go down in flames, just because of how hilarious it would be. You got to crash out and do the. We didn't sign Lamar Jackson. Damn it! I told you to buy. Oh man.
The funny thing is, like 30 seconds after he tells that story, he admits that he wasn't even into the X-Men like 9 months later. But when he did get the figure, he didn't even care anymore. And it's like, well, that's a really good piece of information in favor of them not getting it, because you didn't even care about it 9 months later or whatever.
Exactly. So when he thought it was good advice to, hey, do this thing, well, it turns out that if you just don't give in to the demand for instant gratification of your child, that's just a good thing. Who'd have thunk it?
That is something that I think about sometimes, like how to raise. Not that I'm likely to ever have a kid, and that's fine, whatever. At this point, I'm kind of accepting of it. But like, what do I like? How do you balance it? And I guess the only way to find out is to do it and then keep tweaking it until something works.
Yeah. The thing that really sucks for guys like us in our generation is that as we were growing up, I would hear often, for a guy, hey, you should be looking to start a family in your 30s because that's when you're going to be much better off. But the whole failure to launch thing, that I suffer from, not necessarily you, but many others in our position do. But then everyone suffers in the sense of just how women behave, and like the average age of starting a family for women is in the 30s. So it's like, well, if it's If it's in the 30s for women, then the age should probably go up for guys too, and that's when you start thinking, well, fuck, man, it's probably going to be like when we're in our 40s. So, if you don't mind going to a high school graduation at the age when you should be a grandfather, then it probably happens. The culture's just so poisoned.
Yeah. So
Such a shame.
when I worked at AT&T, there was one coworker I had. She was, a good deal older than me. She was a Russian. She was from Russia and moved to America and was working there for a little bit as a quality assurance.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that. Wow. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the game, it's a railroad crossing, and the little fucking sign things were coming down.
No.
When it came down, I should have been fine, but it suddenly made my car stop, and I flew into the air.
Is everything good?
That's why I freaked out. Holy shit, no. I have 57% damage to my truck.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Thanks, game. I hate it. What the fuck? Like, I'm furious about that. I didn't do anything wrong. Because, like, the sirens started coming on that, hey, a train's coming. But I'm like, okay, well, if I'm a truck and I'm going 65 miles an hour and I have a 94,500 pound trailer and my total loadout on the weigh station is being reported over 140,000 pounds, and I'm going 65 miles an hour, and the fucking the little guard things haven't even come down yet. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Like, why the hell would I slam on my brakes for whatever reason? But instead, the game just instantly treated that like I was already, like they were already down, and it just made my car fly into the air. And 57% damage to my truck now. Jesus Christ.
Does it work?
For the time being, but man, that is so fucking stupid.
Right. I agree.
I'm mad as hell. Like, what the hell? Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt your story. Russian lady you were working with?
Yeah, and she was, a good deal older than me, but she was working there as a quality assurance tech or whatever they call them. Basically somebody who just manually tests software. It's something that they could do without even a college degree, actually. So I still follow her on Instagram because, I knew her for a little bit when we overlapped there, but I follow her on Instagram still. And she's had a daughter, right? So I'm aware of like what's going on with her family because I still follow her on Instagram. And the daughter, basically, I'd say within a couple days of her turning 18, she got engaged to her boyfriend, and they're getting married in a couple of months. And it's like, I mean, that seems very surprising because I remember when this girl was like, what, 7 or whatever, right? I remember when she was like 10 from the Instagram stuff. But it's like she turns 18 and she's immediately getting married, and that seems so weird. But when you really think about it, if you want to have a big family, that's kind of what you need to do.
Yes. For a woman, that's exactly what you have to do. And that's why the culture's so poisoned, is that they say things like, don't worry, sweetheart, you can get a career and then have a family afterward. But the milk's gone bad by the time you start, and you have difficulties conceiving, and time's running out. And if you ever even have a kid in the first place, when it finally comes out the kid's got fucking birth defects or autism or whatever else, it's a nightmare. So people should be having families earlier, way earlier, but they don't want to do that because that's insanely expensive, and it's incredibly hard to be able to afford having a family when you're young, because the cost of housing has skyrocketed relative to the value of wages. So people can't afford houses the same way that they used to 40, 50, 60 years ago. And wages are not increasing anywhere close to the level they were relative to inflation increasing since we went off the gold standard in 1971. And, between all that and then people just constantly hearing bullshit about, oh, having a kid is terrible and all this other kind of shit, just brainwashing people and poisoning them into thinking that having a kid is like game over, your life is awful now. And then they sit there and wonder, well, how is it that we managed to create the situation where the birth rate is way below replacement level?
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
awful.
hear you.
All right. Even though I'm pissed that I'm gonna have to spend a hell of a lot to fix this fucking shit with how damaged my truck is, I'll pull off and fix it now, even though it's 40 miles to the destination. I'll take the side trip because you gotta do what you gotta do. Just
Right.
so upsetting that it went that way, man. Can't believe that. Got screwed.
Like, I don't know if you know, but generally speaking, how long does a woman's body need to recover after giving birth before they can get pregnant again?
Genuinely, the answer is it doesn't need to recover.
Really?
The reason that they do it that way is because they say things like, oh, you need 6 weeks before you try to have sex again after you give birth. Things like that is because during the process of giving birth, the doctors, just to make it easier for them, the doctors are performing surgery, doing things like, oh, we decided to preemptively basically carve out your baby tunnel so that the child could pass through easier, so that we didn't have to, work as hard. And then they try to sew that back together. So that's what they're worried about is, if we sewed your area back up, it's going to need 6 weeks to heal. But the most fertile time a woman will ever have is the month immediately following when she's given birth. And that's when you end up with what are affectionately referred to as Irish twins, because that's a woman's most fertile time, is right after she's had a kid. It's when she's most likely to become pregnant.
So it's just a matter of, do you want to stagger the kids out so you don't have a bunch of kids all at the same age?
That kind of thing. And, it might be like a holdover in the culture of people being scared because childbirth used to be, very dangerous and risky. So, giving birth was really difficult on you. You lost a lot of blood. Well, that just doesn't really happen anymore. Well, that's not awful. Repairing this cost $10,000, but still, it's $10,000 of what you didn't have to fucking spend. Bad,
Yep.
That upsets me. Fucking stupid train tracks.
Oh, Phil is $10 short of the goal.
Yeah, if the culture wasn't poisoned, women should be getting married, like you said, right when they turn 18. Guys should be getting married like in their mid-20s, because if the culture wasn't poisoned, mid-20s would be like, guys established and he's ready to go.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a Russian thing. I wonder if that's a common thing with that culture of getting married early like that and then popping out a lot of kids. Or if she just happens to be, like, the exception.
It's something that the guys typically want, but girls often don't. But one thing with Eastern Europeans that's very different compared to our culture is women are much more aware of the value that a man brings to their life.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very competitive and they work really hard to get and then keep a man, which causes a lot of guys to thirst over Eastern European women. But the thing is that they also treat the whole process in a much more transactional fashion. So if you're not actually capable of giving them the lifestyle that they want, they will brutally rip you to pieces in the way that other women would not.
Mm-hmm. I get that. Actually, I mean that sounds obviously pretty bad, but I get that.
The thing that sucks is that we've reached this point, in our society where people are just, for whatever reason, they don't feel like they can just sit there and say, you know what, I want something, and you can give that to me, and I can give you something that you want also. So instead of us both being miserable, why don't we just come together and be happy together?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that's so hard.
Like that's unironically the thing that made Moulin Rouge such an interesting movie. Because normally that movie would just annoy the shit out of me, but it has that one scene that I think makes that movie interesting, even if there are still parts of it that I don't like watching because it's too hyper. It actually actively discusses that concept.
Yeah. My GPS has completely failed me. I don't even know where the hell I'm going. I hope this is the right way. Okay, they want me to hang a Yui. I can do that. Shit.
Now, unfortunately, I'm not able to square up enough to do a good parking job, and this trailer's so big I don't even want to fuck with it.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I should be there also soon. It just took me a long time to...
Mhm.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, I'm gonna have to fucking get myself towed already. That really fucking makes me mad. I just hate how big this fucking trailer is. I really regret picking this job, for real. Like, if I had known it was gonna be this much of a fucking problem, I never would have.
Mm-hmm.
In a million fucking years. Anyway, I'm almost there.
All right. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the new Star Wars movie focused on Rey is going to be set 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I understand why they would do that. Obviously, Daisy Ridley is going to reprise her role as Rey. So if they have the movie takes place 15 years after the last one, then what that means is that they can save money by not having her wear makeup, and then it'll look like she's aged 15 years.
Yeah, she'll have gigantic stretch marks. She'll have a muffin top.
She'll have jowls.
And a thick, fragrant bush.
Jesus Christ. Describing the ideal woman now. All that's missing is the toe cheese. And I was watching a movie the other day with Simon Pegg, and the movie is called Absolutely Anything.
Okay.
It's something of a sci-fi comedy where you know the probe that was launched into space that is like the image of a human man and a human woman, and then directions on how to find Earth.
Yes.
The premise is that aliens find it, and they're about to destroy the planet, but they decide, okay, we're going to see if we should destroy your planet by giving a random person on your planet the magical power to do absolutely anything they want.
Okay.
And it was pretty mediocre, but what sucks is that two things here with this movie is that it was a reunion of the Monty Python crew, and it was also Robin Williams' last film. So it's the final film where all the Monty Python members who were still alive had actually all been there together, and it was Robin Williams' last film that was released a few months posthumously.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you're like, well, it's not that bad, you'd watch it once and then never again. But you're sitting there like, really, that was the last one?
It's still better than Bruce Willis's last movies.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely need a break after that one.
Yeah. We've actually been going for about 2 hours, which...
Nice.
Yeah, we just hit the 2-hour mark.
Yay.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Oh.
What's the matter?
I saw a tweet. That looked like big news happened.
Okay.
But there's no source at all.
Oh.
Except for the guy tweeting it out.
My source is I made it the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. The news that is being discussed here is that President Donald J. Trump has signed an executive order suspending all foreign aid to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
As the previous one that suspended all foreign aid was Ukraine and Israel were the exceptions, so this now Ukraine too. But the thing is that there's no source here, and then people ask him for the source, and he says leaked State Department documents, and then he just posts a screenshot, and it's like, but if that was true, then like if he signed an executive order, there would be evidence of that. It would be very highly publicized. If he was just planning on doing it, then that's not really news, because I'm sure he's planning on doing lots of things.
Right.
So yeah, people are cooking the guy in the comments because he's just doing it for views. And that's, when you think about it, it's kind of surprising that more journalists don't do that, because engagement is what gets you Twitter bucks. So if you have a blue check mark, why not just make shit up just to get engagement, and then you don't have any source at all?
Yeah. I mean, people do that. If we're being honest here, like that's actually a
Yes,
fairly common thing.
100%. That's what I'm saying to them. Like, I'm surprised they don't do it more often. Because I know they do it, but I'm like, man, they should.
Mm-hmm. Man, I really wish using a damn microphone on my computer wasn't this hard.
Yeah.
I just want to use a damn microphone. Mm. Okay, yeah. I'm going to try to uninstall my microphone later from G-Hub, and that way I can just use it without software. Because I'm starting to think G-Hub is just a piece of shit.
That may be.
Socio-economic factors.
That was great. Journalist asked Trump about Federal Reserve interest rates. So you said you would demand that they would lower them. He said, I think I'll make a strong statement to them. And then she goes, do you expect them to listen to you? And he goes, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, man.
All right. Let me get up and walk around for a few minutes here before we start back up again.
All right.
All right, I'm back. Let's find something we can do in about a half an hour, because then I need to go. We have enough time
All right.
for that.
Yeah. No problem. Let me see here. We're in Topeka, Kansas right now. So $17,000 payout for ice cream, Topeka, Kansas to Sterling, Colorado.
Okay.
So yeah, first I gotta drive to the area that has the job, which is
Alright.
30 miles away.
Also check jobs that are right here to see if... Yeah, no, we're not doing that one.
Oh my god.
What?
So the guy who did the $500 super chat on the stream I did yesterday on Brandon just did a $200 super thanks on my channel.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Okay, so let me know when you've selected the job and I'll jump right in.
I'm almost there. For some reason, they make me do a security check to deliver ice cream. That's hysterical. Fuck me. That's not good. You gotta be kidding. And the time it took me to drive down here, the job has disappeared.
No. That's not
Well,
right.
I have a different idea in mind then. I'm gonna look for something similar to that in the freight market, and then I will just fast travel to wherever it's at to go take the job. 'Cause that's just fucking stupid.
That feels like something that shouldn't happen in a game like this that isn't like massively multiplayer online.
Yeah. Okay, I'm picking that job.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to watch The Winter Soldier tonight with my dad. So I know you said you'd be dashing anyway, but I won't be streaming until a little bit later.
Yeah, that works. Okay, so that's in Amarillo, Texas. Travel to Amarillo, Texas.
Didn't a lot of Better Call Saul take place around Amarillo? Or am I thinking of Breaking Bad?
maybe thinking of Breaking Bad because I don't think there was very much Better Call Saul that went into Texas.
Mm. And I feel like there was maybe Hank got transferred to Amarillo for a little bit, something like that.
That sounds right. Because yeah, you remember like the first half of Better Call Saul was only in Albuquerque, as Jimmy
Mhm.
was just doing beginning of his lawyer career stuff.
Right. Man, not that I think it'll happen, but what if on immediately after Donald Trump returns to office, one of the first things that happens is that the Washington D.C. football team wins a Super Bowl after being so inept as a franchise for 35 years.
That really would be something special. Hell, even if they just make the Super Bowl, it'd be something special.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know if quick traveling to the job location would be even possible for you because I don't know how it works. So I'm just gonna drive over to where it's at and hope that it's out there by the time I get there.
Okay.
If this one runs out too before I get there, then we're just done.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I don't think I could even come up with anything else other than like accepting some shitty job. Because the last place I was at when the ice cream delivery that I wanted to take was gone, there was another ice cream delivery, but it was like very long for very low payout.
Mm-hmm.
Like a $6,000 payout driving across 5 states. I was like, yeah, no.
Okay, so I'm watching Phil play Dino Crisis. This looks identical to Resident Evil. It's even doing
Yes.
like the tank controls and fixed camera angles.
Yeah, they were very similar in style games. Okay, I am actually lagging a ton,
Oh,
which caused me to go off-road there for a minute, which was very concerning. But I'm fine. I somehow avoided damage, but
I was about to say, how did Capcom not sue the makers of Dino Crisis? But I looked it up, and yeah,
yeah.
now I know why.
That's also why we don't really get Dino Crisis games, is because Capcom they're very quick to abandon franchises if they're not like right away incredible. I think they may be dipping their toe in the waters here, but
Oh, it says unknown job. You picked an unknown job. No detailed job data available.
oh, and maybe I need to hook up my trailer first before
Huh. Weird.
triggers for you. I don't know.
Never seen that.
Okay, what about now?
Still says unknown job.
That's really weird.
Huh. Funky.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it.
Okay. I'll just start driving and try to find something that's really short. Come on. Come on. Oh, you're just as pretty as any of them. Just need a nose job. Okay, I'll take this one that takes me down to Texas and just hope I can pull it off. Mm-hmm. No, Rye Guy, I don't leave the house enough for that. All right. I am going to be trying. I am not really going to be obeying the rules of the road right now because I have to go quickly, people. So we're just going to be flying. And if I get dinged with speeding tickets, then, you know, that's the price you pay.
Yeah.
To be an effective driver. Good time was had by all. I'm pooped.
And did Skinner Burgers. Old lemony recipe.
Seymour, the house is sour.
No, Mother, it's just the lemon smoke. Well, Seymour, you are an odd fellow, but I must say... Roar Lemony Alice.
My name is Shinji. I like trains and ice cream.
You remember the one where Gendo wanted to make Shinji autistic,
Yeah.
but Masato dropped the vaccine, so she forgot which one was supposed to be for Shinji. So they just injected them both. Then Asuka got the autism.
Vaxxed?
Suddenly, Asuka began to adopt the mannerisms of Ryan Gosling's character in Drive. Started stomping on Ray's face, and it goes, "Damn it, Masato! Look what you've done."
Remember the one where there was a blackout at Nerve, and someone told Masato, and she thought it meant there was a black person who had escaped confinement?
Oh man. Rest in peace, Leroy.
Not to worry, chum. I already shot him.
Fried chicken. My favorite.
Oh, that's the self-destruct button.
Oh god, I'm lagging so hard. My game just froze for like 10 seconds. Oh god, yep.
Did you crash?
Yes. Really badly.
Did the game crash or did your truck crash? I should specify.
My truck crashed.
Okay.
27% damage, somebody hit me, and I slammed into a fence.
Dude, like, this is getting brutal.
Yes. To be fair, that happened because my game was just frozen for 10 seconds and I had no control.
Yeah, I think I've learned that if that happens to me, what I'm going to do is just slam the brakes and hope it all works out. Like, last time it happened to me, I, like, froze up and I didn't know what to do. So I just ended up
Yeah.
destroying myself.
Oh, and I still got 200 miles on this job. 265 miles. And froze again. Nice.
Man, I just caused a car accident, but my truck is so big it did no damage to me. So I just kept on rolling and nothing really happened.
So I just kept rolling and hating. Yep. Crashed again. I slammed on the brakes, but game didn't register.
So the game's just kind of become unplayable for you right now, is what you're saying.
Essentially, yes. I'm going to pull over into a service lot, and then I'm just going to leave.
That is really annoying because it says your ping is really good.
I don't have a clue. I'll try to tough it out.
All right, good luck, man.
I'll just go slower. Yeah, I'll just go slower.
Mm-hmm.
So just like in real life, most of the need to replace something because the wear and tear is extremely fast would be tires,
Hmm.
which are blessedly much cheaper than replacing an engine.
But in your case, you're going to have to replace the engine soon because you keep getting into devastating car wrecks.
Yes.
I wonder how accurate the wear and tear in this game is to reality, with how quickly things wear out.
Well, it may not seem like it, but we've already driven several thousand miles in these.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm aware. I'm saying, like, we've done cross-country missions. Definitely.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, this we've long since passed the checkpoint where in real life you'd want to take it in to get serviced just for like an oil change.
Hmm. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to imagine in this game that when you go in for delivery, you just automatically take it in for basic maintenance like that, even if the game doesn't like explicitly spell it out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And she goes to high school, but she's got big boobs, and I mean some real hootas.
Some serious badonkers. No bon barracugas. Makana gahoogs. You know what's funny is that there are several animes that fit that exact description.
Well, yeah. It wouldn't be funny if it didn't have a seed of truth in it.
Yes.
You remember the one where Masato taught Pen Pen how to do a Roman salute? When she said, you know,
Yeah. That was what first Penguin pilled Shinji.
remember the one I did where Masato had sex with Pen Pen and Pen Pen had half human, half penguin hybrid babies? That was
Jesus.
That was horrifying.
Yes. Man-made horrors beyond our comprehension.
How many years do you think it'll be before we get a news story about a woman who was dog pilled and gives birth to half human,
Oh God.
half dog hybrids? Like, do you think we're getting there?
I want to believe that if somebody started trying to develop some kind of technology where they could genetically splice the DNA of different species together like that, where you could have interspecies reproduction in that sense, they'd be put to death long before they successfully achieve their goal. That's what. Did you ever watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movie with the Fountain of Youth? I think it was the fourth one.
I watched most of it. That was the one that had Blackbeard in it.
Yeah.
I watched most of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Well, I don't know if you got to the end or not, but they do discover the Fountain of Youth, and they do the whole climactic battle there and everything. But the important thing here is that the Spanish, the Spanish guy shows up, and he was actually the real hero of the movie. And he shows up, and he's got all of his men with him. And then he says, eternal life can only be granted through Christ. And then he and his men destroy the entire area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of thing that I would be hoping would happen. Oh my God.
So, because a movie called The Substance was nominated for Best Picture this year at the Oscars, it's very rare that a horror movie gets nominated for a Best Picture. So people have been talking about that, and they posted the list, and I guess this is only the 7th movie ever that's a horror movie to get nominated for Best Picture, and The Shining is not one of them, which just feels so wrong.
Wow. Yes, as a matter of fact, that does feel wrong. Because not only is it the greatest horror film of all time, not only is it in the pantheon of great movies to ever be made, but that's an extremely short list of movies that Stanley Kubrick made that would not be nominated for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nuts. Do you know what are the other horror movies on the list?
Let me take a look here real quick. Let me see if I can find the tweet.
Yeah, I had never heard of this movie, The Substance. Now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, basically it's a movie where the main character is like a past her prime starlet, and she ends up getting hooked up with this drug called The Substance that allows her to de-age herself, and then it turns into body horror because she starts using it too much or something like that.
Understandable.
Okay, let's see here. Looks like Get Out was nominated.
Ew. That's despicable.
Rosemary's Baby was nominated for Best Picture. Black Swan, the ballet movie.
I don't agree calling that a horror film.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Silence of the Lambs, but I don't agree with that being a horror movie either.
Yeah.
Jaws. That's an interesting definition, but I can go with it.
Well, it's typically the whole franchise is considered a horror movie because it's supposed to be scary.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here.
And there are many who consider the horror genre to not be a good name for the genre, and instead should call it thrillers because the whole point is that it makes your heart race and gets your blood pumping.
All right, the Sixth Sense.
I'm surprised it was nominated for Best Picture, actually.
And The Exorcist.
Yeah, that was the only one that I would have been able to say offhand that I knew that would have been one of them.
Yeah, but you would have said Black Swan if you knew they considered it a horror movie, probably.
Well, if you started off with, by the way, they think that Black Swan's a horror movie, I'm like, oh, so that would obviously be one of them then, right?
Right.
You gave it away.
But it looks like, yeah, there's never been a winner. Unless Silence of the Lambs won, and I don't think it did.
I don't think it did either. I think I think that Anthony Hopkins won the Oscar that year for it, but I don't believe that it won Best Picture. Because let's be real, the whole reason it was memorable and amazing in the first place is just because of Anthony Hopkins. The hell even am I? Oh, this is Colorado. Okay. And where the hell was I?
Oh.
I don't know where that came from. Jeez.
Why do I struggle so much saying the word sixth? Sixth. The sixth sense. The sixth sense. It gets stuck in my mouth.
Oh, that's the Demi Moore one people have been talking about?
Yeah, I think it's Demi Moore, right?
Because I just looking at it on my phone now.
Yeah. It ends up turning into like a really over-the-top body horror movie, but it's apparently quite good.
Speaking of thick, fragrant bush, Demi Moore has got a huge one.
Probably. Wasn't Demi Moore was Bruce Willis's ex, right? Or who am I thinking of?
I believe so, yes. I think, yeah, she left him for Ashton Kutcher. But what's surprising is I think she and Ashton Kutcher are actually still together.
I thought he was with Mila Kunis.
Now I gotta check.
Alright, I don't think there's any way I'm going to finish this job in time before I need to leave. So, if it comes to it, can you just, like, leave the convoy and I can just pause and do this on my own time later? Do you know how this works?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'll pull over and just do that right now. Actually, I've got 14 miles in game left.
Yeah.
Would you be able to stay long enough for me to finish that?
100%, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I'm almost there. Yes, Demi Moore was married to Bruce Willis, was her second husband. Started dating Ashton Kutcher. Then they got married. She had a miscarriage. It's unfortunate. Oh yeah, they divorced in 2013. Oh my god. And yeah, there's the lag crash out again, and me braking does nothing because the game's not registering it.
Oh.
Oh man, that sucked. Okay. Thankfully no damage, but that was spooky.
Oh, no damage. Wow. It's a Christmas miracle.
Because I went off-road and there were no rocks or anything there.
Christianity was right all along.
Sorry. God, I love that line delivery. That was fantastic.
Never mind. It looks like it turns out I have plenty of time. My dad just
Okay,
texted
cool.
me and said he doesn't want to leave until 4.
Nice. Alright. So I'm almost there now. Yeah, I did an amazing job, as a matter of fact, when it came to picking this job because you said something that'd take half an hour.
I
One
picked
took
one that was
20
too
minutes.
long, but it was the only choice I had anyway, so luckily things have
Yeah.
worked out to where... Oh, this is George W. Bush Bridge. Hope there aren't any planes around.
I didn't realize he had any bridges named after him.
Oh, shit. The Hawk's Nest just went live. So he's got at
About
least
that.
one more in him.
I got one more in me. Paul George after he breaks his leg again this season the same way he did when he was younger. God, could you imagine at his age? Okay. Works for me. I'm going to leave the convoy now. Delivery complete.
Yeah, after I complete this order, I will be getting on out of here, and I guess I may not see you tonight. I guess if dashing doesn't go super well, you might come home early, but we'll see.
Yes. Yeah. I'll let you know.
What time are you planning on leaving, by the way?
5 o'clock.
Okay. And like I said, I might watch a movie tonight, so by the time you get home, we might not even be done yet, so should work out.
Yeah. Here's hoping.
But yeah, I knew The Exorcist got nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture, but I would not have guessed The Sixth Sense, and I wouldn't have necessarily guessed that Jaws is considered a horror movie. But I mean, I'm not against it. It just wouldn't have occurred to me. Oh, it actually just occurred to me, for you, Jaws is really a horror movie.
Yes,
I didn't
that's
even
what
think
I was
about
going
that.
to say. Yeah. Obviously, for people who are scared of sharks, it's like beyond fucking awful. But the reason for a lot of people it's considered a horror film is because it's a monster movie where the monster is actually something real.
Mm-hmm. Was there a traumatic experience when you were younger that made you so disliking of sharks, you think? Or is it just something that you do not like for reasons you can't define?
No, there's no real impetus. It's just is what it is. And yeah, I don't know. I would just call it, just some folks have like an innate like genetic concern over some stuff, like thalassophobia too, which is being terrified of deep water, especially the ocean.
That's one that I probably would have. I don't think about it that much, but I could definitely see that.
In that sense, Subnautica can be a very scary game.
And I got that fear from Jack and Daxter. If you swam out too far in the ocean, a giant fish would come up out of nowhere and just eat you whole. Scared the shit
Let
out
me
of
see
me.
here. So, yeah. I'm looking up Silence of the Lambs on Wikipedia right now. The film won the Big Five: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay at the 64th Academy Awards, making it only the third film in history to have ever
Really?
achieved that.
I did not know it won all that. I knew it got nominated for all that. Wow. I mean, I think it's a good movie, but I don't know about all that, man.
Well, I'm taking a look at the 64th Academy Awards because I'm just going to take a look at the competition. Something tells me it wasn't that. That's exactly what I figured. Okay, here were the other movies that were nominated for Best Picture at the 64th Academy Awards, which was 1992 for the year of 1991. The awards. Silence of the Lambs, which won. The others were Beauty and the Beast, Bugsy,
Bugsy.
and The Prince of Tides. Bugsy was, if I had to guess, it'd probably be about Bugsy Siegel. Yes, it's a movie based on the life of American mobster Bugsy Siegel and his affair with Starlet Virginia Hill. Bugsy Siegel, I don't know how much you're in tune and aware of mafia lore.
Not that one. No.
Bugsy Siegel is credited with inventing Las Vegas.
I'm not familiar with that name.
Because,
but yeah.
He was Jewish, and the reason that this is important is because he was part of the very powerful faction of Jewish mobsters in New York City during the time of Prohibition. If you ever watched Boardwalk Empire, Arnold Rothstein was not necessarily his mentor, but like, sort of like the supreme leader of the Jewish mafia in New York City during Prohibition when Bugsy Siegel was coming up. And Arnold Rothstein, his protege, the guy who actually was, who saw Rothstein as his mentor, was Meyer Lansky, who is heavily involved in Boardwalk Empire. And he was the mentor of Bugsy Siegel and brought him up. And Bugsy Siegel saw the opportunity because the mafia, organized crime, didn't really have much of a foothold in the western United States. The furthest west that they'd really gone was Kansas City. And especially at the time when Las Vegas starts being cooked up, was this is when law enforcement's really starting to crack down on organized crime. Because Al Capone and the famous, the effort to actually try to bring him and his criminal network down. So, any kind of westward expansion was seen as being extremely difficult. The FBI's watching you like a hawk. So Siegel went out to Vegas, which at the time it was just a desert and there was nothing there. And he said, because there's nothing here but a desert, we can get all this land for cheap. Nevada didn't have any laws that outlawed gambling, so the mafia, which had historically controlled gambling throughout the United States for a very long time, Bugsy, he got some loans to start things up, so then, he built the casinos out there, and that's the whole reason that it was out in the desert is because anytime the mafia needed to take care of a guy, they'd just kill you, drive out into the desert, and you'd be buried out there, and they didn't have to worry about it. The cartels learned that lesson well. So, in the movie The Godfather, Hyman Roth, his name evokes Arnold Rothstein, but he was actually based off of the real-life Meyer Lansky, and Moe Green was Bugsy Siegel. So, when Bugsy Siegel was killed, Meyer Lansky went apeshit, and he had a very similar reaction to Hyman Roth in Godfather 2. And that's what, so much of that has to do with Nevada and Godfather 2 because, and why Mo Green gets brought up because he invented Vegas.
Makes sense.
So that would be what the movie is about. Not, like a biopic of Bugsy Siegel, but, yeah, it appears to be based on the life of American monster Bugsy Siegel and his affair with starlet Virginia Hill. So that's the important thing, is the romance, and then, yeah, so. Nominated for Best Picture and, lots of other stuff at the Academy Awards, but yeah, up until I was reading this, I'd never even heard of it.
So not a particularly strong year. Okay. I dig it.
Mickey Cohen was another famous mobster, and in this movie he's played by Harvey Keitel, which is interesting. Meyer Lansky, who I brought up, was played by Ben Kingsley in this movie. That's pretty interesting.
It's got a half-decent cast. But yeah, reading the Academy Awards here, yeah, a lot of the movies that came out that year, they were iconic, but none of them were anywhere near on the level of Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
So I already read out Best Picture, but then for Best Director, you have Jonathan Demme, who directed Lambs, who won it. Then you have John Singleton for Boys in the Hood.
Oh, okay.
Literally. Barry Levinson for Bugsy, Oliver Stone for JFK, and then a movie that I'm surprised genuinely that it wasn't nominated for Best Picture. Thelma and Louise
Oh.
came out in 1991, and Ridley Scott was nominated for Best Director, didn't get it. Best Actor, Anthony Hopkins was the winner. Warren Beatty, who played Bugsy Siegel in Bugsy, nominated. Robert De Niro for Cape Fear. Nick Nolte for The Prince of Tides, and Robin Williams nominated for The Fisher King.
I'm surprised De Niro didn't get it, actually. That seems like the kind of role that would get you an Oscar.
Yeah, you'd think, but Anthony Hopkins, that was like one of the greatest performances of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The character was just too incredible. So Best Actress, Jodie Foster, who won it for Silence of the Lambs. Gina Davis for Thelma and Louise, playing Thelma. Laura Dern nominated for Rambling Rose. I never heard of that one. Bette Midler nominated for The Boys. Never heard of that one. Susan Sarandon, who was also nominated for Thelma and Louise, and she was playing Louise.
Well, that explains why neither of them won. You split the vote. Like an idiot.
Yeah, that was a really, like, there are a lot of movies that are like really well known, just as well known as Silence of the Lambs, like Cape Fear, like Thelma and Louise. Another one that came out and got nominated for a lot of things, and won it for the, these are usually action films that win these awards, was Terminator 2. That Oscars. Also, Star Trek 6: The Undiscovered Country was at that Oscars. Was nominated for Best Makeup, Sound Effects, other things.
I feel like Terminator 2 is such a transcendent action movie, it should be nominated. Like, I know you don't do that often, but for that year, I think you would have done it.
Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree, but that's the thing is, for movies that you would sit there and be like, this is an Oscar-winning movie, it was a really, really weak year.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense seeing Silence of the Lambs win it. I don't agree calling it a horror film.
Yeah,
If anything, I feel like it's a character story about Hannibal Lecter, and then just everybody else was involved with the whole thing, but the story wasn't anywhere near as interesting.
I mean, isn't it a crime movie at the end of the day? It's about trying to solve a missing
that too.
persons case. I could see that. So somebody on X, like last week, posted this list of movies that apparently Joe Biden had screened in the White House while he was there. And I'm pretty sure the list had to be made up because a lot of it made sense. A lot of it were like the new art house movies, things like Anora, things like The Conclave, things that he probably did actually screen. But then they randomly threw in like fucking Beavis and Butthead Do America and Wayne's World and Austin Powers and Goldmember. But it's really funny to imagine Joe Biden requesting to screen like fucking Austin Powers movies in the White House.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. But it definitely makes me feel ancient, though, that like the most ancient boomer who's ever boomed to be in the White House requesting movies that I grew up with.
Yeah.
That makes me feel super old.
I never watched Goldmember. I saw the first Austin Powers and I think I left it at that. Actually, I don't even think I saw The Spy Who Shagged Me.
I saw every single one of those Austin Powers movies. The third one, by the time they got to the third one, things were getting out of hand, and you could tell that there was a reason that it was the last Austin Powers movie. But at the same time, they got Michael Caine to come in and play a very significant role in the movie, and that made me really enjoy it. But it also really sucked because I don't know who it was. I gotta look it up. But some black lady who played Foxy Cleopatra is the name of the character.
Oh, Beyonce.
Yeah, there you go. It was a very, very obnoxious role. I'm loud and ignorant, or I'm obnoxious and ignorant. I'm gonna be loud about it too.
Honestly, Joe Biden's probably at the age where more complex films are probably really hard for him to process, so he probably does need to watch stuff like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. I'm sure if they were screening There Will Be Blood for him, he would have just passed out after the first 10 minutes.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to reboot Beavis and Butthead yet. That seems like a slam dunk to at least take a shot at that. Or maybe they did and I forgot about it because it flopped.
Christ. I just read a plot synopsis of the substance and I'm like, wow, that sounds completely deranged.
But in a way that I can respect and seems actually pretty, it feels like somebody really cared when they made that. And I can respect that, even though I don't want to watch it. As near as I can tell, it's like paying heavy homage to The Fly, David Cronenberg. Which I've also not seen, but I certainly know of it. Alright, we are almost there. Alright, as soon as I park this and bank it in, I'm going to go ahead and just drop off the call and get out of here. So thanks for hanging out. Maybe see you later tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
Good
I'll
luck
let you
out
know.
there. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
I guess some people thought that the horror movie with Nicolas Cage that came out last year, Longlegs, would get nominated, but it looks like it didn't get nominated for anything. All right, excelente.